Welcome back to Storytime Universe, where stories come to life. If you've been following the Artifacts Whisper, you know that Eli Baxter's journey started with a mysterious discovery, an object that defied logic, reshaped reality, and turned his life upside down. But power is a tricky thing. What starts as a gift can become an obsession. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single chapter. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you do if you held the power to reshape reality? Let's dive in. Chapter 3, The First Temptation. Eli wasted no time testing the artifact's potential. At first, it was small things: a torn jacket patched as if new, a shattered phone screen restored with a thought, a cracked coffee mug fused seamlessly back together in his hands, and old books with tattered pages looked as though they had just come off the press. Each success was like uncovering a new secret, an addictive rush that left him craving more. As his confidence grew, so did his experiments. He repaired his worn-out boots, reinforced his aging furniture, and even restored the water pressure in his apartment's rusty pipes. Each time he willed an object to change, he felt the faint pulse of energy radiating through the artifact, a sensation that connected him to its power in a way that felt almost symbiotic. But the more he used it, the more he wanted. No project seemed too small or insignificant. Every repair brought a little more light into his previously drab life. Bills that had once haunted him were paid off with gold he transmuted from scrap metal. His tiny apartment transformed overnight, filled with the kind of luxury he had never been able to afford. Sleek furniture, high-end electronics, and fine clothes replacing his old, threadbare belongings. He indulged in gourmet meals, no longer confined to cheap instant noodles and discount groceries. He even repaired his decrepit car, turning it into a sleek machine that felt brand new. The artifact gave him everything he needed. But as the days passed, a gnawing question lingered in his mind. If he could create wealth with a mere thought, what else could he achieve? Then came the idea that changed everything: selling his creations. At first, it was simple: turning junk into antiques, reselling them for a profit. A broken watch became a vintage masterpiece. A pile of scrap metal turned into intricate sculptures that art collectors clamored to buy. The money poured in faster than he could have imagined, and with each sale, his confidence swelled. But as his wealth grew, so did his ambition. He launched a business, one that provided impossibly high-quality goods at prices no competitor could match. His online storefront flourished, offering handcrafted furniture, rare jewelry, and customized artifacts that defied explanation. Word spread beyond the city. Clients from around the world sought out his one-of-a-kind pieces, willing to pay small fortunes for his miraculous craftsmanship. Eli found himself catering to high-profile buyers, their praise only fueling his desire to create more. Success came with its rewards: an upscale apartment overlooking the city, designer suits tailored to perfection, and a car that purred like a dream. His life of hardship seemed like a distant memory, replaced by one of wealth and admiration. Yet, beneath the surface, Eli felt an insatiable hunger. The artifact had given him everything he had ever wanted, but now it wasn't enough. Late at night, as he sat in his new leather armchair with a glass of whiskey in hand, the artifact seemed to whisper to him. It spoke in silence, urging him to push further, to test its limits. The possibilities clawed at his mind. What else could he change? Could he bend reality itself? The thought sent a shiver through him, not of fear, but of anticipation. Chapter 4, The Rise of a King. Eli's business was no longer just a venture. It had become a phenomenon. His products, renowned for their unparalleled quality and uniqueness, were in such high demand that waiting lists stretched for months. Exclusive boutiques in major cities clamored to stock his creations, and high-profile clients sought his personal touch for bespoke items. The media dubbed him a visionary, a genius artisan who had seemingly come out of nowhere. With wealth accumulating beyond his wildest dreams, Eli's lifestyle transformed dramatically. He purchased a sprawling penthouse with panoramic city views, its floor-to-ceiling windows showcasing the glittering skyline below. Each room was a masterpiece, adorned with curated art pieces, custom furniture, and technology that catered to his every need. He surrounded himself with opulence, yet it never quite felt like enough. His calendar overflowed with high-profile meetings, design consultations, and media interviews. Every major publication wanted an exclusive with the man behind the miracle craftsmanship. Invitations to elite events poured in, and he basked in the attention. His nights blurred into extravagant parties, where celebrities and influencers vied for his time, laughing at his jokes, raising glasses to his success. He had become a name, a legend. And yet, there was always a whisper at the back of his mind, an itch that no amount of wealth or praise could quite satisfy. Yet, beneath the surface of his legitimate success, Eli began to leverage the artifact's power to secure his empire further. It started subtly, an unnoticed shift in a rival's supply chain, a minor defect in their latest product. But soon his interference grew bolder. He would run his fingers over the artifact, picturing the downfall of those who opposed him, and it would respond in kind. A competitor's best-selling gadget inexplicably failed en masse, leading to recalls and plummeting sales. Manufacturing plants ground to a halt as materials spoiled, seemingly at random. Another's luxury clothing line developed mysterious fabric flaws that tarnished their brand's reputation overnight. Top designers, once loyal to their companies, inexplicably walked away, leaving their firms scrambling. Eli ensured that these incidents appeared as natural mishaps, glitches in the system, simple oversights, never directly harming anyone but effectively dismantling his competition piece by piece. He watched with satisfaction as CEOs scrambled to save their collapsing enterprises, oblivious to the unseen force working against them. With every competitor that crumbled, his confidence grew, feeding the insatiable hunger within him. As his rivals faltered, Eli's confidence soared. He began to see himself as invincible, a master of his destiny who could bend reality to his will. The artifact was his secret weapon, an extension of his very being, and with it, he believed there was no limit to what he could achieve. No longer burdened by self-doubt, he walked with a swagger that turned heads. His words carried the weight of absolute certainty, and his decisions were made without hesitation. He started taking bolder risks, investing in ventures he once deemed too ambitious, tech startups, luxury real estate, and industries he had no prior experience in. But it didn't matter. His touch, his will, his power turned everything to gold. Every risk paid off, every challenge was effortlessly overcome, and every doubt cast by skeptics was buried beneath his ever-growing fortune. He was no longer just a businessman. He was a force of nature, reshaping the world to his desires. His inner circle noticed the change. Eli's humility gave way to arrogance. His once open and inquisitive nature hardened into an unshakable belief in his own infallibility. The collaborative spirit that had once fueled his rise shifted to a demand for unwavering loyalty. He no longer entertained differing opinions. Only those who agreed with him remained in his orbit. He dismissed advice with a wave of his hand, trusting solely in his instincts and the artifact's power. The concerns of colleagues once valued were now nuisances. He had no patience for hesitation, no tolerance for second-guessing. Those who questioned him found themselves pushed to the periphery, their influence fading as he built a new circle, one that praised, flattered, and reinforced his growing sense of supremacy. Critics were not just ignored, but actively removed from his sphere. Journalists who dared to question the source of his success suddenly found themselves discredited, their reputations mysteriously tarnished. Business partners who expressed concern over his increasingly aggressive tactics discovered deals inexplicably falling through. Eli didn't need to confront his enemies. Circumstances simply aligned in his favor, as though the universe itself had conspired to ensure his dominance. And with every step, he surrounded himself with those who fed his growing ego, each voice an echo of his own, assuring him that he was destined for greatness. In quiet moments, the artifact pulsed with a subtle glow, as if acknowledging its role in his ascent. Eli would gaze at it, mesmerized, feeling an almost sentient presence within its depths. It was no longer just an object. It was a companion, a confidant that had shaped his rise to power. The faint hum beneath his fingers sent a thrill through him, a reminder that he was in control of something beyond human comprehension. He was no longer just Eli Baxter. He was a king, ruling over a kingdom forged by his own hand, with the artifact as both his scepter and his crown. But as his power grew, so did his isolation. Trust became a rare commodity, and genuine relationships faded into the background. Eli was at the pinnacle of success, yet an undercurrent of unease lingered, a faint whisper reminding him that even kings could fall. And that's it for this part of the Artifact's Whisper. But trust me, Eli's journey is far from over. Power like this always comes with a king, and what's coming next will change everything. If you're enjoying the story, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next chapter. And let me know in the comments, what do you think will happen next? Thanks for being part of Storytime Universe, where stories take on a life of their own. Until next time, keep imagining, keep wondering, and I'll see you in the next story.